The home buying process will now look a little different. As Kevin Miller reports, changes aim to make the buying process more transparent.
The process to buy a home, which is by no means simple, is changing. New rules from a national court settlement went into effect and are impacting real estate agent commissions.
The class action lawsuit really was claiming that there were issues with the way the commissions were being set across the country for realtors working with their clients.
Carrie Chang is CEO of the Minneapolis Area Association of Realtors.
Part of the settlement included some practice changes. Although we didn't believe there was anything with the practices, currently being used, the goal of the settlement is to really answer the question around transparency.
The settlement requires buyers to sign a written agreement with an agent before looking at any homes.
Actually, not every state required you to have a buyer's agreement in place before you started working with your realtor. And so for us, luckily, that's a minor change because we've always had those. The biggest difference locally for us will be that now it's the timing and making sure you have that agreement in place before you see a house.
Another change came to multiple listing service, or MLS. Realtors are no longer allowed to list their commission on MLS. Chang says the new rules may help spur debate on commission rates.
Especially here in our market, I was saying, Minnesota Nice is maybe not to start out right away with talking about the price and the money, and those conversations happening up front, I think, just will naturally mean that people are negotiating more.
For the system to work.
Brandon Doyle with RE/MAX Results in Maple Grove says he isn't predicting a big drop in commission rates.
The way it shows up on the settlement statement might change, and the way we communicate the commissions might change, but I don't think that they're going to drop by any means, or drastically at least.
Chang says the new rules should not be cause for alarm.
It's fine. Everything's going to be fine. We don't need to panic. And actually, that still your biggest challenge is just finding that right property.
Kevin Miller, CCX News.
A man has died following a motorcycle crash in Brooklyn Center. Police say the crash happened around 2 Thursday afternoon near the Shingle Creek Crossing Shopping Center. The motorcyclist was the only person involved in the crash. Police say he was wearing a helmet but was pronounced dead at the scene. As of Friday, the medical examiner had not released the victim's identity. There are heavy hearts in the city of Robbinsdale, which lost a beloved friend, neighbor, and community leader. Amanda Carlyle, who served as general manager and chief financial officer at Wicked Wart Brewing, died recently of cancer. She was 37. Carlyle also was a past president of the Robbinsdale Chamber of Commerce. Her family says that she was always willing to lend a helping hand and a listening ear.
She took care of everything here, which was so important. But she'd be here when we got here in the morning, and she'd be here when we'd leave at night. And that'd be like 7 days a week sometimes.
Carlyle battled breast cancer and thought she had it beat until the cancer came back. Her father says she was a fighter until the end. The family plans to celebrate her life on Sunday.
It's not going to be a dress-up event. This is an event like come as you are, right? And so, because if I ever get dressed up for this, she'd look at me like, "Where the hell are you going? Like, what are you doing? What's going on?" And that wasn't her.
The celebration of Amanda's life will take place from 11 until 3 on Sunday at Wicked Wart Brewing Company in downtown Robbinsdale. 3 generations later, a Robbinsdale auto shop is celebrating 100 years. I introduce you to the owners who show that it's truly a family affair. Even on the edge of a big city,
they waited for you.
Robbinsdale has small-town character.
That's why I enjoy coming to work every day. 61 years.
Just ask lifelong resident Tom Sipe.
You can take Robbinsdale and move it out 250 miles, and it'd be the same community.
It's perfect for Sipe's Car Care Center, which holds family right at the center. Tom's dad, Walter Sipe, founded the business 100 years ago in 1924.
He was a character.
Tom eventually took over.
I can bring it over.
Yeah.
He learned from the rapport his father created with his customers.
People said, I deal with Walt Sipe because I know he's honest and he'll take care of me. And I've always kind of tried to follow that, and I hope my kids do, which I know they do.
That essence can be found throughout the shop. Lead cashier Michelle Graham says it's pretty clear, from repairs to connections.
Sometimes people come in with just something they need to talk about. And there's always a listening ear here.
And in the spirit of family.
This is family. You know, it's family.
Tom's passed the shop down to his son, Greg.
To me, he's still the owner until he leaves here, which will never happen. So
Now together, they're celebrating 100 years of business in Robbinsdale. The city declared August 11th Sipe's Car Care Center Day. Greg said he wanted it to be special for his dad.
so much of the time spent here is all catering to the customer, and that's what business is about. But he is a giver in that sense. He's never a taker. And so I wanted the day to be all about him.
Tom says it's been a good ride.
And it's not so much what you've accomplished monetarily. It's how you feel inside. It's how you live.
And no, Tom's not retired, and he's not planning on it anytime soon either.
All we do is joke.
After all, it's family. As Maple Grove's first ever restaurant week comes to a close, restaurant owners are calling it a success.
We had a lot of fun this week. Started off Monday with live music. Kids night Tuesday, Wednesday we had a beer dabbler for our patio night. It's been fantastic. We've seen a lot more people. It's been fun. People are out and about. It's great.
Malone's Bar and Grill is one of nearly 30 Maple Grove restaurants to have some sort of special offering for Restaurant Week. Local tourism officials with Experience Maple Grove say they're excited to grow the event next year.
And honestly, just to give visibility to places like Malone's and places like Omni Brewing and Paulie's and the Lookout Grill, which is one of my favorites.
Restaurant Week wraps up on Sunday. This Saturday, you can learn all about bees on National Honeybee Day. Members of the Minnesota Hobby Beekeepers Association will be at Loose Line Brewing in Plymouth on Saturday from noon until 3. Visitors will see honeybees up close behind protected glass and learn about beekeeping. Monday on CCX News, we'll put on a beekeeping suit to explain how this Plymouth brewer is incorporating honeybees into its everyday operations.
We have some high-level high school volleyball in the area this fall. Jay Wilcox previews a Champlin Park team that's ready to shine.
Even in a program that's used to success, this could be a special year for Champlin Park volleyball. The Rebels return a great group and are eager to get started.
Yeah, I'm super excited this fall, especially just because we have so many familiar faces on the team. I'm excited to just get going with the season and have a good start to the year.
Oh, it's so good to be back in the gym. Everyone's excited. We just got our final teams now, so the energy is just even more than it was before we started.
Champlin Park is ranked #1 in Class 4A to start this season, which doesn't seem to faze them.
It's always a good thing to be highly ranked, but I mean, we focus on working hard and always doing our best, so it's in the back of our minds, so we don't necessarily focus on it.
We appreciate that the coaches recognize that we might be a good team, but at the end of the day, it's an opinion, and we just try and still got to win matches on the court, and we're just going to take care of our stuff and try and get a little better every day and see how that plays out throughout the year.
Gopher recruit Carly Gilk will be one of the state's top seniors. Her longtime running mate Reese Axness is a great setter who will play for Ball State. Senior Catherine Adler is another D1 prospect, and talented sophomore Riley Inman is primed for a big season. The Rebels again ran into eventual state champion Wayzata in the Section 5 final last season. It's a good rivalry that Champlin Park hopes to get the best of this fall.
I'm excited to see what happens with them this year. Just as long as we keep pushing through, working hard, I think a lot of good things can come from that. So
They're a really strong program and had a really special group come through, but they still have a lot of kids that would have been playing in other years had not been for the group that they had coming through, and so they're going to have great teams. Maple Grove and us have always had great battles in the section.
Nothing like a great test to start the season. Champlin Park hosts Lakeville North in a #1 versus #2 matchup August 22nd. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
We are 2 weeks away for most teams from the season openers in prep football. One of the top teams in the area this season should be Maple Grove.
Expectations are high again at Maple Grove football, which has become the norm for a program that's won 31 games and a state title over the past 3 seasons. Adam Spurl takes over as head coach after nearly 2 decades as an assistant.
We've got a deep junior and senior class, and so we've got a ton of guys back, but we have a ton of guys that are itching to try to see their way on the field, and it's a blessing to have as many returners back, and especially at some key positions.
6 Crimson seniors have committed to Division I football next year. University of North Dakota commits include running back Chuck Ungama, who's coming off a 1,400-yard, 26-touchdown season. Tight end defensive lineman Nathan Ramotka. And offensive tackle Michael Wagner. Headed to North Dakota State are wide receiver and safety Dylan Vogel and linebacker Jacob Urbanek. The 6th D1 commit is H-back linebacker Bo Draheim, who's headed to Cornell. Junior Caden Harney will be in his 2nd year as the Crimson starting quarterback. And there's a lot more talent here than just the 7 guys we mentioned.
Everyone knows we have our 6 Division I commits, but we got the kids that no one really knows about, the D2 kids, D3 kids that, you know, are great kids who work hard and they play with just as much as we do. And, you know, that's the main thing, is we have depth in every position.
The Crimson believe they have the talent to make a deep playoff run like the 2021 and 22 teams. But we'll trust the process and know August through October will contribute to any postseason success that may come in November.
It's a big part of it. I mean, it's one game at a time. You know, you got to have that mentality that right now all that matters is week 1. After that, it's week 2, week 3, you know. So it's a one game at a time mentality, and the goal is keep winning until there's no more games to win, you know.
In Maple Grove, John Jacobson, CCX Sports.